Welcome to the Cutscenes and Credits podcast. I'm Reagan,
This is me, Finley Laux. I'm here.
and today we are going to be ranking all 13, I think it was, 13 Spider-Man movies.
Let's do it.
Disclaimer, we have not seen Madam Web. We will not be including that, and this includes...
Venom 3. We're not going to do Venom 3
we're not
either.
doing Venom The Last Dance. We are doing Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, his 3, Andrew
Venom,
Garfield, his 2, the two
Venom,
animated
and
ones.
Morbius.
The 2 Venom ones, Morbius, the 3 Tom Holland ones, and we are not doing like Infinity War Endgame, the ones where like Tom Holland Spider-Man is included. So, without further ado, let's get started. We are comparing our lists, so let's get right into it. So, at number 13, I think Finn and I both have ours pretty much cleared out. So, at number 13, we both have Morbius.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's just the CGI, like...
The story, the CGI, the end credit scene is just insane. It's just, like, what are you trying to do?
There's absolutely nothing good about it. Jared Leto still has not made a decent movie since Suicide Squad.
That was the worst take I've ever seen.
It was, no. Every single movie that he's made.
He's probably the most overrated actor of all time.
Oh, for sure.
He is just bad.
I don't think I've seen a movie made by him, like, since I saw Morbius, because, like, I saw Suicide Squad, and then I saw Morbius, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with him. Like, he's lost my trust. Just not testing another movie that he ever makes or made before. So, yeah, CGI of Morbius, storyline, plot, characters.
It's just all so bad.
All of it is just terrible. So, I'm going to let you get started with your number 12.
My number 12, I had Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage.
I had that too.
I had this movie down there. I'm going to go first this time.
Yeah.
I had this movie down there only because, like, I like the action scenes, but, like, the story is just so confusing. It's so, like, it just feels like they didn't know where they were doing it, and they just made it. Like, almost a money grab.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that they were really only doing it just to introduce a new, like, just basic sequel tropes.
Yeah,
like, they
pretty
were
much.
just introducing a new character that he could fight, and they just didn't really plan any plot for it. They were just doing it as a cash grab and to have someone for the main character to fight.
If you like the first one, go ahead, watch the second one. I'm not going to stop you. I know people that like this movie. I mean, I'm not going to agree with them, but, like, I know, I understand why you like it, but, like, it's, at the end of the day, for me, it's just not that good.
For sure. For my number 11, hot take, little bit of a hot take. I know there's a lot of people who are against this movie and a lot of people who are for this movie. I have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3.
I have the exact same.
Are you serious?
Yep,
Okay.
exact same.
All right. So, yeah. I mean, whenever I hear the word Spider-Man 3, the first thing that pops into my head is just the dance scene. It's just bad. That's all it is. It's just bad.
It's like, come on. Almost, it's just, what is there to even say about it?
The only thing that's been made that's relatively funny about the movie is, like, obviously the dance scene, but also, like, just the Instagram reels of, like, him turning into Venom, and it's, like, just those.
It's just all so stupid. Like, the cinematography is just so bad. It's like, the way they filmed it, like, no way you looked back at that and said, yeah, this looks good. I'm sure people will like this.
That went through multiple editing phases.
It's not like the story's bad. I think they try to go too ambitious with it being the third one. But, like, it's not like it's horrible. It's just like, come on, you could have done better. You could have put more time into it.
Yeah, it's just not... It's not made well. Like, it wasn't good from the get-go. Like, they didn't have a good script for it. It just was not planned out very well. So now, I hope we get to actually argue because number 10 I have Venom.
Number 10, I have Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. Venom is just. I thought that the CGI and like the comedy was good, but like they also blended in the emotions of. Oh my goodness, what's his name?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah. What does he play? Who does he play?
Venom. Duh.
Well,
Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they did the emotions of that really well, and just like the side effects of Venom, because that's like really interesting. I think he pulled that off really well.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because it's like if you were to have a huge monster like inside of you and like randomly like takes hold of you at times, like there would be emotions to that. So I think he pulled that off really well.
So then let me ask you this: if you're saying all these good things, why do you have it ranked so low?
Because there's just better movies. There's just way better movies.
All right, and then I have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 down there, only because like they did the stories, the acting. I'm gonna be sorry, the acting's just not good. The acting is just not good. I forgot who plays like Electro, but it's
Jamie Foxx.
It has to be one of his worst movies. I'm gonna be honest. It has to be one of his first. Like, there's a scene where like I know some people are conflicted about this. Some people like this movie, some people don't. I'm one of those people that don't. There's a scene where he's like falls down. He's like, "Wow, it's Spider-Man," and he like says it out loud.
Isn't he like a geeky scientist?
Yes, he's a geeky scientist, and he turns all like cool kid, and it's just like the way they did him in No Way Home is 10 times better than they did it in the movie.
For sure.
It's just like, and then they have the Green Goblin. Oh my goodness, the Green Goblin in that. How do you mess that up? How do you mess that up? It is genuinely so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, leading into
it's a shame.
That is my number 9.
It's a shame because they had such an important thing. Like being a Andrew Garfield movie, they handle like the Peter Parker stuff phenomenal. It's really good how they did that. And like I just feel like it also kind of gets boring at points. So I think they kind of digressed from where they did at the first one at points. But like when Stacy dies, spoiler alert, that's pretty much the big thing in the movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing people remember.
And then like Peter Parker can't save her.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
I thought the acting of that was really bad. Like they just tried to keep pulling the emotions of that, and it was like it was just not executed well. I don't think. Yeah, that's my number 9. Just not executed well. I like what they were going for. I thought they were trying to have good emotions and like good fight scenes for it and like a good climax.
Yeah.
Which, if you're just looking at like the plot line for it, I think it did what it wanted to. It did what it thought it was doing, but I really think that it was just not executed well.
At my number 9, I also had Venom. Kind of like just switch there. I think I agree with you on a lot of it. I think they handled the emotional stuff well. I think they did it. I don't like how they handle the villain in that. I think it comes out of nowhere. I think they were so caught up in paying attention to the Venom part, you know? Like, making that all work out to where they just like, oh crap, we need a villain, so let's throw this guy in there. And like, his whole, like, in case you didn't know, the whole, like, I'm pretty sure the whole, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but the way the villain dies is like, he gets thrown up in like a rocket and the fire burns him. The fight scenes are cool, I guess. It's just, like you said, better movies. Definitely better movies.
I think the CGI is really what.
The CGI is really good.
Yeah.
I like how they did it.
That was probably, because that was 2018, I think that's when that was made.
And then after that, CGI would have a massive downfall.
Yeah, because they had Endgame, like they had the portal scene, which is just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marvel just really started to go downhill.
Yeah.
From there.
And then your number 8?
My number 8 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Controversial take. Very controversial take. But that is my number 8.
My number 8, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay. All right. I respect it. I'm gonna start talking about No Way Home. I I really believe that this movie was made 70% just for fan service.
You can't say that. Okay, here's the thing. If it was made for fan service, that doesn't ignore from the fact that it was still so good. Okay? It was so good.
I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I'm gonna be completely honest. But I think the directors were just thinking, can we have a third Tom Holland movie? However, because we're running out of supply for plot, let's throw in Doctor Strange and let's bring back Toby and Andrew.
I completely disagree, but we'll get to that later.
It's just like Tom Holland Spider-Man is about to go downhill. Like, we know this. Like, the fourth one where nobody knows who he is, like his story is about to go deep. I said downhill, now I realize that it's like, that's saying not to be, like, to be not good. But it's going to get dark. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready for him to go through some actual struggles. But I think that they were just focused on comedy and just, like, hype. And so that's why I think this movie is ranked that low for me.
All right. After that, I'll put Spider-Man Far From Home. That's why I'll just explain why I put it at 8. I put it at 8 because I think they handled the villain a little weird. They did Peter Parker. Okay, so the whole thing about that movie is that Peter Parker's going to, like, Venice or something, right? And then, like, I just don't like how they handle the Peter Parker stuff. And, like, the whole thing they did is, like, build him up with MJ, right? This movie, they kind of expanded on that. I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think they did it that well. I don't like how they did the villain, Mysterio. I think that could have been done way better. I'm gonna be honest. I think they made him just a random guy. And I don't his whole thing is that he was gonna be an Avengers level threat. And I don't like how they I think this is when we first start showing Marvel's weak signs and that they're deteriorating from, like, being the powerhouse movie industry that they were. I think this was the big thing that set them down a step.
Yeah, this is my number 7. That's my ranks number 7 for me. But I really think that this movie, like, I think the plot's actually not that bad for it. It was just, like, not handled that well. Again, that's my problem with a lot of these. It's just they're not executed well. And I'm gonna say I like the villain of Mysterio. I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great, like, I think he did a good job acting wise.
I can agree with that.
It's just like the way that his character developed and the way that the directors wrote his introduction and everything and the way that he, like, got beat was really not great, because then they had the whole, like, at the very end they were like like Spider-Man is Peter Parker or whatever, like the end credit scene and the start of No Way Home. Like, I just really think that was not, like, just didn't need to happen. Like, it set up No Way Home well, but just wasn't really what needed to happen for that specific plot.
Where are we, 7?
Yeah, we just said 7.
Okay, my 7 was Spider-Man 2 at Tobey Maguire.
That's my number 6 as well. So we can both chat a little bit on that one. So I believe this was the first Spider-Man movie I ever watched, actually, because I think I was like 5 or 6 and I saw this one. And all I really remember is just Doc Ock, and I was just, like, terrified because, like, you got the huge machine, and I think when people think Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they really, like, the main villain that comes to mind is Doc Ock and, whatever his name is, Oswald.
Green Goblin.
Like, yeah, I do think that, Willem Dafoe did a great job as Green Goblin, and that's why I have the original Tobey Maguire ranked higher. I'm just going to say that Spider-Man 2, just, like, it's nostalgic for me, but I think the overall plot it could have used some refurbishing. But overall, like it's number 6 out of like it's in the top half. It's really like I think it is a great movie. I would say it's like probably 4 stars for me. Like I think it's really good. It's just there's better contenders, honestly. In today's day and age, there's better contenders.
Yeah, I can agree. I can get on that. I think Doc Ock was a great villain. I think
For sure. I think he's definitely top 3 Spider-Man villains.
I just think it slowed down at points. That's why I
Yeah.
rated it so low.
I agree.
And then at my number 6, I had Spider-Man Homecoming. It was the first one in the
Okay.
Spider-Man series. I think they did it really well with the Vulture. I take that back. I think they did it good with the Vulture. Just good. The thing that with the add Iron Man in the movies, he gave Spider-Man the suit, right? And they're also selling Avengers Tower. And that was the big thing that like kind of ended the climax where the whole plane scene. Like it was good. I think they did Spider-Man really well. The action scenes in this movie I think are really well. Peter Parker slows down. I think that's the big thing that these last couple movies have been struggling with, the Peter Parker part and getting that down to a T. So, I think they really got this movie. I mean, it was the first one that came out, you know. I've been growing up on these movies since what? When did this movie come out? Like 2016
This
to
was 2016, I think.
2016. I was 6. So, you know, I mean, really good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good one. I just like more than it. I just like some other Spider-Man movies more than this one.
Yeah. That one's actually my number 5. I really enjoy this movie, honestly. To make it top 5 in all the Spider-Man movies so far that's an accomplishment, I think. I like the introduction of Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I think he did a really good job. And obviously, like, this wasn't his introduction per se, because Captain America Civil War was. But like his introduction of a first solo movie, it did what it was supposed to. I think they did it really well. I think Vulture, he was a good villain. Who played him? It was Batman, 1989 Batman.
Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Yep.
He was good. I think what they were going for was trying to introduce the light-hearted Spider-Man, because you just had Andrew Garfield lose like his Gwen Stacy. You had Spider-Man 3, which was Spider-Man 3. That's all I need to say. It was a train wreck. So you had the last 2 Spider-Man actors like just crumble. Like you had their endings not do well. And so when you introduce this one, I think they did a good job. I think that the whole high school aspect of it, they did well, just along the lines of the other 2, because I think they did it well, because you had him crushing on whatever her name is, that one girl.
When?
No.
No.
Whatever her name is.
Oh, this weird girl. And she like moved.
Yeah.
Because she was the Vulture's
And then
daughter.
you have him and Ned. Like you had Peter and Harry. You had I don't even remember.
Was there a Harry? No, there wasn't a Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn? Yeah.
No. In Spider-Man Homecoming?
No. I'm talking about Toby's.
Oh, okay,
But,
yeah.
like you had good like brotherhood in the other 2. And so
Yeah.
Peter Parker, like Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Ned just work super well. Like their chemistry in the movie is just great. Like they're so funny, and I think it just like introduced the lighthearted Spider-Man well, which would ultimately just kind of fall flat on his face, I think. So what is your number 5?
Number 5, Amazing Spider-Man.
Really?
Amazing
Okay.
Spider-Man.
All right. I
Number
want to hear your
5.
take on this.
My take on it is that Andrew Garfield, the best Peter Parker out there. I think some of the Spider-Man.
Boom. Said it.
Best,
Say it again. Say it again, because I agree with you. Say it again.
Andrew Garfield's the best Peter Parker
Boom.
out of all of them. They handle the Peter Parker the best. I think it gets serious when it needs to get serious, and it gets lighthearted when it needs to get lighthearted. It goes like that. I think I'm going to go out and say it. I think it handles action scenes out of all of them the worst. I think it handles, like, the fight with Lizard. It's probably the only good action scene of the first movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. But like how they handle Peter Parker is just so good. It's like it almost wants me to put it higher. But with the Spider-Man parts is good. Like I think they also handle like him being like a civilian, like a neighborhood Spider-Man. I think they do that really well, which they haven't done the best with the most recent ones. But I think they do that really well, and that's why he's at my 5.
All right. Going into number 4,
Number 4.
the first time either one of us is talking about the animated ones, I have Across the Spider-Verse.
Same here.
Okay. Sweet. So, I really thought that this movie was a good continuation of the just absolute blockbuster that Into the Spider-Verse was, because like the music, dude, Metro Boomin absolutely killed. And then you have just like
the animation style, all of it.
Obviously,
so good.
Yeah. One of the best animation styles that I've seen. Like, really makes it look like it's straight out of a comic book. And just like the emotions and like terror that you can feel from Miles Morales, like, it is hard to make fear and like just panic a big aspect of an animated movie, and I think they handled that extremely well.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that Miles is just going through it, like, and obviously he's handling it well, but like, you see his character development through the animation, and it's just incredible.
And yeah, I agree with all that. And I know people that don't like this because it's like a part 2, like it's a part 1 of 2. I think that's so stupid. I want to be honest. They're like, well, they didn't finish the story. They did. They so finished the story, and like they finished. Like the whole story is the Spot. I don't think the Spot was the main villain per se.
No.
I think the main villain was like more of a
2099.
Yeah, more of 2099 Miles. It was more setting up.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing, like, and if you don't like it, don't like it. I don't really care. But like, just why hate on it for not ending it off? Like, you're telling me you liked the whole movie up until the end, so now you just have to hate it all. It's like, what about the whole movie that you just watched?
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally get that.
Like, you make them like, you stop it before it ends 10 minutes, and you're like, do you like this movie? And they're like, yeah. And then they watch the ending, and they're like, oh no, this sucks. And it's like, well,
I definitely think you have to keep into account like the movie as a whole, but I also think that like huge things like the actor or the ending can make or break the movie. Coming back, took a little commercial break there.
all right.
Before going into the top 3, we would like to implement a segment into the Cutscenes and Credits podcast where Finley and I review random food or drink items.
Today,
We have 7-Up Shirley Temple.
0 sugar.
This is the 0 sugar version, because this is the version that we have in my house. I have not tried it before. Finley has not tried it before. Let's get right into it. There we go. All right. Let's get into it.
Blind reaction. Tastes like.
It's got a strange.
Tastes like a sizzling.
It's
Shirley Temple to me.
It tastes like a sizzling vat of chemicals. It tastes like what Joker fell into in Suicide Squad.
Oh, the little like white stuff.
Yeah.
That was so disgusting. I'm gonna
It's
need
like
you to
you
prove your love to me.
You have the you have the hint of strawberry in there. It's like creamy strawberry, and then other than that, it's just chemicals.
The
That's all it
aftertaste
is.
is weird too.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. I would give it a
I
6 out
agree.
of 10.
I've said all bad things, but I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of. No, I'm just kidding.
I would give it a 6.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a solid 4.
Not your favorite.
All right.
Not your favorite. All right, jumping back
Going into
it.
the number
3.
I have Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, me personally, this was the second Spider-Man movie that I remember watching out of all of them, all 13, and I personally love it. It's just straight nostalgia. It's just I love it. I think Andrew Garfield is just a phenomenal actor. I love him. He's just great. I think that obviously, yes, there's the clear problems. Lizard, there's just like a few plot holes, I'll say. There's a few plot holes, but I love this movie. I'm gonna be honest. I enjoy it so much. It's not the best movie, but I just enjoy it, and that's such a key factor that like most critics these days, like, obviously they're there to be hard on the movie and like just talk about it professionally, but like we're two guys in a literal basement talking about Spider-Man movies. Like, enjoyment is a huge factor in this. So that's why it's at my number 3. I just love this movie.
Number
to
3?
be honest.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 1.
Solid pick.
Spider-Man 1. I mean, it started all. First Spider-Man movie ever, I'm pretty
100%.
sure. And like, Tobey Maguire, he's an amazing actor. I'm gonna be honest, amazing actor. He does good in almost all the movies he's in. He does amazing in this. It's the first one that started off. The nostalgia carries hard. I don't care. Like, it's just so good. It might be a cat. Give me a sec.
Is the cat here? I believe the cat's here. Oh my goodness, the cat's here. Come here. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is Melvin.
guest appearance. This is Oliver. Say something. A man of few words, but Oliver has joined us.
Yeah.
So,
I think nostalgia carries hard. I don't care.
100%.
It's
Fully
so
agree.
good. It's so good. Like, you can't. They handle. I think Tobey Maguire is also. He's just so wholesome, dude. You can't.
oh yeah.
Like, you watch him and you're like, I just want to be like him. You know?
Until Spider-Man 3 came out.
Yeah. That weird dance.
Um,
That was weird. I don't know. It was good. It was,
yeah, that's my number 2.
Number 3.
I think it was just a great movie. It started the revolution of live-action Spider-Man. Live-action Spider-Man movies. Modern live-action Spider-Man movies, let me say that. Yeah, I think it's just phenomenal. I think it's just, like, you can't go wrong with just, like, staples in specific cinema history. Like, you have Back to the Future. Like, obviously, if you compare, like, and you have Jaws. Like, you compare the CGI and special effects of Jaws and Back to the Future to, like, time traveling and shark movies today. Like, compare Jaws to the Meg. Like, obviously, there is a huge, enormous...
The Meg.
Obviously, there's differences and there's, like, improvements. There's still staples in cinema. And so that's what I think Spider-Man is. It's really just a staple in Marvel and, like, just superhero movie history, honestly. That's probably a Mount Rushmore superhero. Like, I think that's a Mount Rushmore superhero
It's
movie.
gotta be.
Like, and when I
Started
say Mount
Marvel,
Rushmore, I don't think it's not like my personal
It
favorites.
was one of
It's
Marvel's
just
first movies, wasn't it?
yeah, it's just like staples. Like when you think of that specific genre.
Pretty good. Pretty
And
good.
so, what's your number 2? Now that we led into
I
that.
got Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, solid.
I'm gonna be honest. This movie, the animation, 10 out of 10. It was first animation to come out of its kind. Like, I remember watching the trailer, I was like, this looks kind of weird, and I watched it, and it was so good. You know, you have all the different
100%.
Spider-Mans, which people have loved. Marvel was on a high.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
they smoked the good stuff. They smoked it good. They're on a high. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hit that high, rode it till the end. I remember this was popular for like a year. Everyone was talking about it. A year. It was insane. Everyone loved every single characters. It was everywhere. The story is amazing. They introduced Miles Morales. Amazing. Like, it's sad. It's happy. It's everything. It's everything you want in a Spider-Man movie. I think it's perfect. Except, I'm going to be honest. Except, like, there's some parts where it's just it feels like it gets ahead of itself. Like I don't want to call it cringy, but like the pig,
A little meta.
it is. Like I mean, it's what this pig's supposed to be,
Yeah.
but it just gets a little cringy at times. But at this point, I don't even care. It's a phenomenal movie, but I still have it at number 2.
And so, into my number one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I adore this movie. There's no other way to put it. I actually love this movie. I just fell in love with it as soon as I watched it. And it's just like, there's heart, there's the Morales family. There's comedy, of course, when just everyone's together. There is, like, there's stakes. Like, literally, like, the universe could just end because of the, what's it called? The big portal thing. Um,
The like Division Collider.
yeah. But there's so much stuff crammed into this 2-hour animated movie, and it's animated. Like, that's what's crazy about it. Like, first of all, the style's incredible. And second, they crammed all of this incredible stuff near perfectly into an animated movie.
And also, I remember when this movie came out, I'd watch it like once every day for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
It was so
I-
good. It just
I've
doesn't
seen this
get
movie
old.
probably over 10 times. I love this
Oh, I've seen it
movie.
over like 20. It's so good. I love it. But finally, I think it's just me in my number 1, which I have No Way Home. So, okay. Literally, what have we been
Okay.
talking about the whole time? Spider-Man. What does it give us 3 of? Spider-Man! All of the best.
That's a solid take. I I did make a point in saying that enjoyment is a huge factor in putting
did
into
say
your
that.
rankings. And I won't put it against you. I loved it too. I was one of the people that cheered when in the theater when they appeared from their portals. But like I just I feel like the
Like,
I feel like they did it just like just because they could. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's like that's something that filmmakers need to realize sometimes. But I will not put it past you. Enjoyment is an absolutely enormous factor in ranking movies.
I think
so
it has probably one of the best action scenes of all time. Like, it compares to Endgame. I'm gonna be honest. It compares to Endgame. It is so good. It has heart. It'll make you cry. It'll make you cry. It made me
Oh
cry.
yeah. Oh no. When,
It'll make you cry.
When Toby got was it Toby or Andrew got stabbed? Which one?
Toby got stabbed.
Yeah.
Aunt May died. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
that. Like it had heart. It was like the only minor detail. I'm gonna be honest. Is the ending.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
I get not all stories have happy endings, and this, I want to be honest, this is one of them. To me, it did not have a happy ending.
No,
'Cause
definitely not.
Nobody knows Peter Parker. I mean, now, I mean, I can't wait to see where the 4th movie goes, whether it's good or dumpster type movie. It'll be one or the other. So I just can't wait to see the next one. I think this is the best Spider-Man movie of all time, and I mean, I'm sure it can be beat. All of my like top 7 are pretty close.
Yeah.
But
No, I get that.
yeah, I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's what you want.
I think the ending, like, when I look back on it and I rewatch it, I feel like it can be a little cringy and they're trying to tug your heartstrings just a little bit too much. But, like,
Yeah, I can
it's
get
not
that.
what you expected. You said, like, Peter made a promise. He was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to find you. I'm going to make you remember me. And then, like, sure, some people could have predicted it. It can be a little predictable. But he just asked for a coffee. Like, he just went in and just didn't say any, like, barely said anything. And it set up what is going to be Peter's demise. And I'm so excited for it. I love when movies just go dark quick. And I'm ready for it. I'm so ready for it. I cannot wait to see Tom Holland get into the dumps because, like, Amazing Spider-Man, like, they didn't execute it well, but Andrew brought heart to that movie, and I know Tom Holland can do that. So I'm just ready for it. I'm so ready for it. And
Yeah.
that concludes
I
our
think
ranking
I
of
think
all
that's it.
13 Spider-Man movies.
All right, it was a good one, folks.
So thank you guys for listening and watching if you are watching us on YouTube. So
Yep.
that does it here for us at Cutscenes and Credits, and
Sounds
we
good for
will
us.
see you guys next time.
If you're watching on Spotify, follow us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube,
This podcast/video was not sponsored by 7-Up, even though
don't
they made
sue
a
us, please.
good
Product.
product.
Would recommend. Please don't sue us.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.